latest twist in the U.S. immigration policy has the border with Mexico closed. We'll have an update. Haven't received your stimulus check? Find out when you might be in for a nice surprise. The UNT Green Brigade Marching Band is known for rocking the house, and they're about to go international. We'll tell you where.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Nathan Mayer.
And I'm Victor Villagrán. And while our own UNT Cinderella story finally struck midnight, it left us all with a great Mean Green feeling.
The men's basketball team made UNT history with their first NCAA appearance in more than a decade. ntTV's sports anchor Jocelyn Lassiter has more. Jocelyn?
That's right, guys. It was a historic moment for UNT basketball as they continued a legacy from 12 years ago. ntTV's Zach Fox has more on this Cinderella story.
A little bit more.
A lackluster exit than the Mean Green had hoped for after the Villanova Wildcats overtook North Texas in round 2, 84-61. After leading early, Villanova caught fire from beyond the arc via junior Cole Swider. The number 10 defense was never infiltrated internally as much as it was through the air. Villanova was 15 of 30 or 50% from 3 and really ignited the remaining 10 minutes in the first half, which led to a 20-point UNT deficit at the half. Despite a push midway through the second half to bring the deficit to 15, the Wildcats were ready for the push. Villanova used the three-point arc and rebounding ability as well as taking advantage of UNT's turnovers to maintain the lead. Villanova moves on and will face the number 1 seed Baylor, who won earlier in the day 76-63 over Wisconsin. North Texas senior Javion Hamlet's goal in the tournament was to make a name for himself. After getting offers from Purdue and Gonzaga, he stuck with North Texas for his collegiate career and finally received the opportunity to perform on the NCAA's biggest stage.
Look at Hamlet again, figure a way to...
Hamlet ended the night with 8 of 16 from the floor with 25 points and 6 rebounds. Despite an early exit, the job was done. Respect was earned for the Mean Green and will no longer be a team many will quickly overlook in their bracket. Getting to the NCAA tournament, making school history, and shooting their shot against some of the nation's greatest really dates back to head coach Grant McCaslin's comments after the Conference USA championship. Really, the heart behind all of it is that God's put us in this position for a purpose that's greater than just winning games. The taste for victory is there. Don't be surprised when the Mean Green use this early exit as fuel to make even more school history 1 year from now.
Hope is not lost as this season became one for the books. I will have more sports for you later on in the show. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jocelyn. Well, the other big story today was the weather. After a great weekend, the temperature dropped and the skies opened up. It started to drizzle early this morning here in Denton and then came down hard about midday. We need the rain with most of the state in a drought condition.
The skies really opened up today on my way in, Nathan.
Yeah, I know how you feel, Victor. Let's go out to our weather anchor, Lexi Flores, for a first look at the weather. Lexi?
Thanks, Victor and Nathan. Now, the rain has stopped momentarily this evening, but there still are gloomy skies out. Now, taking a look at our current weather temperature, it is 57 degrees with a wind speed of 15 miles per hour, making it feel like 54 degrees. Going into tonight's conditions, it's expected to drop at 48 degrees. However, there is a 90% chance of rain. Now, this rain will not be sticking around, as tomorrow we are expected to have a temperature of 73 degrees with a wind speed of 15 miles per hour and sunny skies. That's all I have for our first look of weather. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Lexi. Well, we are all looking forward to spring. Thousands of Texans are still trying to recover from the deadly ice and snowstorm last month, and Denton is no exception. The city filed a lawsuit against ERCOT, the electricity regulators, after massive bills were sent out to consumers. Denton Mayor Gerald Hudspeth has an update.
Right now, it's just to protect our cash flow, if you will. So here's how I can explain it. The term is called uplifting, right? And so you and your friends, let's say you and 10 of your best friends go out to eat at Outback Steakhouse, right? And let's say 8 of you have money, you have your credit card, whatever, you're good to go. Then there's 2 friends that I forgot my wallet at home, I have no money. What ERCOT does in that situation is they uplift the bill. So the other 8 of you split the other 2's bills and they don't owe anything.
The city also extended the disaster declaration resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. He explained how the extension helps city residents.
And so what we're trying to do is get people to contact the different charities because they have dollars available. So instead of waiting until that payment's due, contact utility customer service and they'll get you plugged in with one of the nonprofits that will then see if you qualify, make sure you're eligible for assistance.
Mayor Hudspeth also said that Denton will not fully know the effects of the winter storm until the budget meeting on Wednesday. We'll keep you posted as both of these issues progress. And well, one very well-known Texan has taken matters into his own hands to help people across the Lone Star State. Actor Matthew McConaughey hosted a virtual concert on his YouTube channel last night. The goal? Raise money for people still struggling after the devastating storm in February. He convinced a long list of top celebrities to take part, including Don Henley, Post Malone, Kelly Clarkson, and Willie Nelson. The benefit raised money for a number of charities, all helping Texans in their recovery.
Groundbreaking news has rolled in today. The Biden administration is closing the border between the United States and Mexico. There's been a major surge of migrants using COVID-19 resources, which are already under constraint. CNN's John Loring has the details.
The White House isn't calling the situation at the southern border a crisis, but by any yardstick, it's a tense situation.
We are executing on our plan. It does take time. It is difficult.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection detained nearly 9,300 unaccompanied children last month, almost doubling January's total. Thousands are being held in facilities for more than the 72 hours that's allowed by law.
We are working around the clock to move those children out of the Border Patrol facilities into the care and custody of the Department of Health and Human Services that shelters them.
The Department of Homeland Security expects the number of migrants at the border will soon hit a peak not seen in at least 2 decades. Republicans say President Biden hasn't come up with solutions after overturning some of the Trump administration's immigration policies.
I haven't seen a plan. They talk about humane conditions, humanitarian. They have created a humanitarian crisis down here at this border.
Let's have rapid adjudications at the border. This was a pilot program started in the Trump administration. It was stopped. Let's put that back in place.
No word yet on when the White House will reopen the border. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The tension is rising as more and more migrant children arrive at the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center in Dallas. As of Sunday, 1,500 children were in the Dallas facility and 10,500 are in refugee resettlement shelters across the country. Samira Page crossed the Rio Grande with her family roughly 25 years ago. Quote, "They are just seeking to survive, and that's why their parents let them embark on this dangerous journey," end quote. Caseworkers will still try to get each child reunited with any family member already in the United States.
Haven't received your vaccine yet? Why, getting vaccinated might have you in for a sweet treat.
And COVID testing made easier. Find out how you can get your next COVID test with the click of a button.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm going to drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I've taken 25 selfies in the last 10 minutes.
26.
Yep, I'm definitely going to call a ride home.
Play Eric Amarola's Race Day Mix.
Cinderella found the pet that fits her perfectly, and you can too. Share your heart, share your love. Make a shelter pet part of your world. Happily Ever After begins at theshelterpetproject.org.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you. Your barber. Your barber's barber.
Nice work. Thanks.
With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps! Did Pete saying mean things bother ya?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Beautiful hills and highways of green. Wouldn't it be better if they were clean? Only takes one person to make things right. So join hand in hand and protect our countrysides. One person starts and another follows through. Well, don't mess with Texas. It starts with you.
I'm Whitney K. Lane. Remember, y'all, don't mess with Texas.
The second batch of stimulus checks are being sent out this week. The Biden administration says that this round of $1,400 checks should be showing up as pending for people having direct deposit on Wednesday, the 24th. The government says that as time goes forward, additional payments will be sent out as needed. Major news in the fight against COVID-19, and UNT is upping its game as part of that fight. We have team coverage tonight.
David Moreno is at the UNT Health and Wellness Center with more on what new efforts are underway, and Christine Guevara is at the Union with more on vaccine breakthroughs. But first, there is a possible approval for another vaccine. Here in the United States, the government now says that 25% of Americans have been vaccinated. There is also new hope for an even speedier rollout with a new player in the game. ntTV's Christine Guevara has more information. Christine?
Thank you, Nathan. Today, new information has been released about another coronavirus vaccine made by the biopharmaceutical company AstraZeneca. This future vaccine will soon be examined for potential use in the United States. CNN's Mandy Gaither has more.
In the war on COVID-19, it's another potential weapon. AstraZeneca says its vaccine showed 79% efficacy against symptomatic disease and 100% efficacy against severe disease and hospitalization in a new clinical trial based mostly in the U.S.
The good news is also that there was comparable efficacy across ethnicity and age.
It could soon become the fourth vaccine approved for emergency use in the U.S., but AstraZeneca's vaccine sparked controversy earlier this month when a number of European countries temporarily suspended its rollout due to reports of blood clotting in patients after getting the shots. However, the European Medicines Agency concluded last week that the vaccine is safe and effective and not associated with an increase in overall risk of blood clots. In the latest trial, Dr. Anthony Fauci said there was no evidence of a higher blood clot risk.
The vaccine was well tolerated, and the Data and Safety Monitoring Board identified no specific safety concerns related to the vaccine.
Meanwhile, calls for Americans to get vaccinated continue amid fears about the spread of highly contagious variants.
I'm calling the American people to action, whether vaccinated or not, to recommit to doing the right thing. Take the steps we know work to stop COVID-19, wear a well-fitting mask, socially distant, avoid crowds and travel, and be ready to roll up your sleeve to get vaccinated when the vaccine is available to you.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The AstraZeneca vaccine has already been distributed to over 70 countries, and hopefully the U.S. will be next in line for administration. Now let's head over to Chestnut Hall to ntTV's David Moreno for more information about COVID-19. David?
Thanks, Christine. Now here in Chestnut Hall at the Student Health and Wellness Center, they are continuing to provide COVID-19 tests for students to keep everyone safe even as the vaccine is starting to get rolled out. Now, if you would like to get tested, you can sign up for an appointment through the SHWC patient portal at myosh.unt.edu or by calling at 940-565-233. It's important to remember that you must not have tested positive for COVID in the past 14 days to be eligible. Other testing locations on campus include Curry Hall and Discovery Park. Now here at Chestnut Hall, they will continue to provide COVID tests throughout the week and the coming weeks, and they update their testing schedule every Monday by noon, so be on the lookout. And if you aren't getting your COVID test results fast enough, don't worry because DoorDash is coming to your rescue. That's right, DoorDash announced Monday that it will begin same-day deliveries of 2 COVID-19 tests to the U.S. The delivery service is teaming up with digital health companies Vault Health and Everlywell for their launch. The difference between Everlywell and Vault Health's test kits is that Everlywell uses a nasal swab and Vault Health uses saliva collection to test. Now, the important thing to note is that the FDA has authorized both kits for emergency use. DoorDash says the testing will be available in a certain amount of cities, including Dallas, Cleveland, Baltimore, Denver, and Chicago. But they plan to expand in the coming months, so be on the lookout. Now that's all I have for today. Back to you guys at the studio.
Thanks, David. And with the increased distribution of the COVID vaccine, we are now starting to see the common and sometimes rare side effects of these vaccines.
Alyssa Weems takes a look at one of these rare side effects in today's Your Health.
Thanks, Nathan and Victor. The term COVID arm can sound a little bit scary, but it's actually pretty rare to get, and it's not dangerous, according to experts. There are a few common side effects people should be aware of. One rare side effect is known as the COVID arm. Cynthia Snyder, a Moderna vaccine recipient, had no reaction to the first dose. Initially, she noticed her second dose was a similar experience.
It felt like a normal vaccine. It's a little stiff, sore at the spot, but I didn't even have any redness.
She started experiencing abnormal symptoms the next day.
The next day, it went from, a small circle to like here to here. It looked almost like I had gotten a sunburn almost, and it just stayed probably another week.
The CDC considers the common symptoms of the COVID arm include a red, itchy, or painful rash. The rash could take from a few days to a few weeks to develop. If you develop a COVID arm after the first vaccine, the CDC still recommends you to get the second dose. This is different from a skin rash. The COVID arm doesn't develop immediately after the vaccine, but is known as a delayed reaction. Though she experienced symptoms, the COVID arm is a small price to pay for protection.
I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Experts say developing COVID arm is not something to worry about. You can always talk with your vaccine provider if you have concerns. If you have questions about the different types of COVID vaccines or COVID arm, visit cdc.covid.
Thanks, Alyssa. And Nathan, the rain this morning made me realize how much I actually missed having seen rain despite all the sun we've had recently.
Well, I personally actually like the sun. Let's go back to Lexi Flores to see what we can expect for the rest of the week. Lexi?
Now, I agree with Nathan. I am ready for the sun. But taking a look at our North Texas area, it seems to be a little chillier. Everyone's sitting in the mid-50s, going into the 60s. Now, taking a look at our great state of Texas, we're experiencing quite drastically different temperatures throughout the state. Amarillo is experiencing temperatures in the 40s, and Houston's experiencing temperatures in the 70s. Now, taking a look at our 7-day forecast, this week we are expected to have a sunny week, with the exception of Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday, there is a 60% chance of rain. However, that sun is not expected to stick around. This weekend, we are going to be experiencing warmer temperatures. That's all I have for our weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Lexi. On a sweeter note, Krispy Kreme is giving a special treat to their COVID-vaccinated customers. Starting today, the famous donut chain says anyone that shows a valid COVID-19 vaccination card will be given a free original glazed donut with no purchase required. The deal is available at all 369 Krispy Kreme locations in the country and will run through the end of the year.
UNT Green Brigade brand goes around the world. See where they're traveling to next.
Love the game of Monopoly? Find out how you can be a part of making key changes.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
I will not be news today.
I'll now make another push to be the first man in space with frosted tips and a puka shell necklace. I'm Lance Bass, and I will not be trending today because there is a much bigger story that needs to be heard.
You've made yourself a target, James.
The Green Brigade is going international as they have been selected to perform in Dublin's annual St. Patrick's Day Parade. Before they were invited, the band initially sent in a portfolio of videos and letters to the Dublin Festival Committee, who then selected them. Just like the Macy's or Rose Parades, the Green Brigade will be joining bands from around the world. The trip will be taking place during next year's spring break from March 11th to March 18th.
I know the group is certainly capable of it. They play really well. It's a really strong group. And so I wanted to get us the exposure that I thought that we should be going after.
Along with the parade, the band will perform 2 standstill concert styles performances. Applications are currently open to any member participating in the Fall 2021 Green Brigade Marching Band.
It is optional. We're not necessarily bringing the entire group. It's whoever wants to participate. But we had 20 students sign up like overnight.
Here's your chance to make money fast. A company is offering people $2,400 if they can stay away from their screens for a full 24 hours. If you have the determination and grit to last a whole day without any technology, this might be the challenge for you. Every day this week, Reviews.org is holding a 24-hour digital detox challenge. Challengers have to stay away from their phones, televisions, and computers for a full day. People can apply for the detox through March 26 on the Reviews.org website. The chosen contestants will be given a safe to lock up the devices and a $200 Amazon gift card for a tech-free survival kit. The winners will be announced on the YouTube page on March 29th. Would you give up your screen time, Nathan?
You know, I personally think that I would be going mad. And here at UNT, it was also a March maddening 24 hours.
It absolutely was, Nathan. Let's go to our sports anchor, Jocelyn Lassiter, to tell us what we missed during the madness. Jocelyn?
You got it, guys. Not only was the March Madness in action, but Mean Green Women's Volleyball spiked the competition. The Luca Showdown continues, and Mean Green Women's Soccer loses its first conference game. Stay tuned.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
UNT volleyball rallies to defeat Southern Miss on the road 3-1. This win comes after losing the opening set. The Mean Green found their stance, and with a change of attitude and determination, they blocked their opponents defensively. The Mean Green finished with 94 team digs, and redshirt junior Henriana Ibarra gained a career high of 31. Mean Green have served 5 straight wins, putting them in the CSU tournament for the 8th consecutive season. Mean Green volleyball will face Texas State on the road on March 25th to close out their regular season. The Dallas Mavs took on the Portland Trail Blazers in a walkaway win, 132-92, but to no surprise, Luka Doncic stole the show once more. Luka made his first 8 three-point shots and finished with 8 for 9 shooting from long distance. When asked about Luka's performance, Trailblazers head coach Terry Stotts, quote, "He can do whatever. He can score, he can pass, he makes teammates better," end quote. That's exactly what he did, finishing with 37 points, 7 rebounds, and 4 assists. How great is Luka, you ask? Good enough to continuously tie with our very own Dirk for most points by a Maverick in 3 quarters. You can catch more Luka Showdown and the Mavs this Wednesday against the Minnesota Timberwolves at 7 p.m. Now, UNT women's soccer began this season with a 5-0 record. However, this past Sunday, they fell short not once, but twice in their first conference loss against Southern Miss 2-1. Southern Miss dominated the first half, but the Mean Green just couldn't respond well enough. One thing to note is that the Mean Green starting goalie, Kelsey Brand, was out. Hopefully, this defeat will motivate them to get a goal against UAB at home this Friday, March 26th at 7 p.m. That's all I have for sports. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jocelyn. There's a new change coming to the age-old game of Monopoly. Hasbro is updating all of their 16 Monopoly community chest cards and are asking for your help. Some of the options for the new cards are Rescue a Puppy, Shop Local, and Help Your Neighbors. You can vote for your favorites at MonopolyCommunityChest.com. Once all the votes are cast and the winners have been decided, the new cards debut in the updated Monopoly game this fall.
I am so looking forward to those new cards coming out, especially that little puppy one.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to have a game night. I'll tell you what, you bring the snacks and I host.
Sounds good to me, Nathan.
All right.
And thank you for joining us on ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again here tomorrow night at 6 on North Texas Television.